12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Held at gunpoint while suspects tried to steal their car this morning. How that family escaped and what San Antonio police are asking for right now.
Also, it's been a big traffic headache for local residents and also commuters. What you need to know about an ongoing median project this morning and also how it's going to affect your drive moving forward.
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is not 10 p.m. Do not adjust your sets. This is Stephania Jimenez. Jaffney is enjoying a long weekend, so she'll be back next week. But we're thrilled. I think is this your first time?
It is indeed. I have to tell you that I'm super excited to be here with you this morning. I mean, it's a beautiful weekend. There's so much going on. We have Friday night football tonight.
Correct.
The Texas Eats Food Festival that's going on tomorrow. Yes. And also just a bunch of events that are happening. There's another event going on in Lockhart. We're going to go over all of that throughout the morning. But the point is, we want you to be ready. So let's send things on over to our good friend, meteorologist Justin Horn. Justin, get us ready for everything that's going on this weekend.
Can do, and welcome, Stephania, to the show. Yes, 80s, a busy weekend, and I think we're going to see some pretty quiet weather. Whether, that's fortunate or not, we would need some rain, or we do need some rain, but it's remaining elusive for us. Let's take a look at some of the headlines here. This is going to be the 10th day in a row where we're either going to see a high temperature of 92, 93, or 94. The consistency for September has just been unreal. So that means the weekend likely stays quiet. I know we had discussed maybe some small rain chances. I really don't think there's much there. We do get a subtle pattern shift, but it's just not enough to really move the needle. And as we look down the line, I must say I've got some bad news when it comes to next week's forecast. It was looking as though we'd at least have some rain chances. Now it's not looking as good. And the reason for that is just the overall pattern just isn't moving the way it needs to. In the meantime, if you're headed to the bus stop this morning, here's what you can expect. Temperatures will be in the low 70s to start. We'll be in the low 90s this afternoon. Same old, same old. And that means it'll be pretty warm for those Friday night football games. So rain chances, as we said, not as good as what we had once hoped. Tuesday, 20% chance Wednesday. That's about the best we can do. We're going to discuss more about this. We'll also check in on the tropics too. Still a lot of activity out there. We've got all that coming up here in just a couple minutes. Ernie?
All righty, sir. Thank you very much. 5:02 this morning, a home held at gunpoint over a vehicle. You see the gun right there. Two people in this video tried to break into a car and possibly steal it earlier this week. So the suspects held a southeast side home at gunpoint while trying to get into that car. One person inside the home yelled at them, and the suspects ultimately ran away. SAPD is still working to find those suspects. In the meantime, the family wants the community to help find them.
We're all sick to our stomach about this, that two gentlemen felt over gunpoint it was so worth it that their response would have been to end the life just to take a car. I'm pressing charges 100% if we're able to press charges.
So SAPD also says no one should confront a suspect. Instead, they say call 911 immediately if you notice something out of the ordinary happening on your property.
Now, 3 dogs shot and killed after one of them attacked its owner. Animal Care Services says that the dog started fighting, and when the owner tried to break it up, one of them then bit his arm and leg. Happened yesterday on Citron Garden in Far East Bexar County. Officials are confirming that the owner shot all 3 of his dogs. ACS says that the owner was taken to the hospital. At this point, there is no update on that man's condition.
All right, so is San Antonio safe? That question comes after a violent weekend a few days ago with 10 people shot and 4 people killed between last Saturday and Sunday. Now, Police Chief William McManus says most cases stemmed from arguments, and he insists that there is no wider threat. SAPD reports that homicides are slightly lower than this time last year, 83 so far right now compared to 86 at this time back in 2024. Police say neighbors should stay alert but not alarmed, calling San Antonio a safe city.
I will say that 100% the city is safe.
Now, there were 127 homicides in all back in 2024. And coming up a little bit later on GMSA, on a more lighter note, I'm going to visit more with the chief on a new episode of Pickup Lines. Fascinating insight into his personal life. That's ahead in the 6 o'clock hour.
Okay, looking forward to that, Ernie. In other news now, the San Antonio City Council has officially approved a $4 billion budget. Leaders unanimously passing that plan yesterday, and it includes funds for new police patrol officers. But here's the thing, it still includes fewer patrol officers than some council members had originally wanted. You see, the first part of the plan was to add 65 of those patrol officers, but the draft budget cut that down to 25 and then raised it up to 40. Northside council members say that they want more, but others question whether adding officers is really the best way to address public safety, especially since only 3 of the current members were on council 2 years ago when this idea first came up.
Backtracking on that promise is nothing short of government malpractice. Public safety is our highest priority. All the other things that we want to do not matter if our citizens do not feel safe.
In the end, the council settled on adding 40 new patrol officers, and this budget that we're talking about will take effect on October 1st. Also staying with City Council this morning, members rejecting Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones's effort to have policy proposals resubmitted. This vote came down to 9-2. Mayor Jones wanted proposals that were filed before the new council was seated to be updated, but yesterday's vote basically means that the policies, they stand as is, even with new council members. This comes after 4 council members signed a memo last week calling for changes to that process.
So imagine being in your last term of office. Why would you even file a CCR that could take a year and a half to be worked on if the minute you're gone and termed out, the CCR expires and the process would have to start over again?
So remember how he told you that the vote came down 9-2? Well, Mayor Jones and District 4 Councilman Edward Munguia were the only 2 who voted against that measure.
All right, now to a San Antonio hub that helps businesses avoid extra taxes and keep prices down. From the clothes you wear to the cars you drive, a lot of what we use every day comes from another country. So this morning, we're taking you inside a special warehouse at Port San Antonio called Optech. It's part of a foreign trade zone, meaning that companies can store overseas shipments here without paying tariffs until the products leave. The setup gives local businesses more flexibility and control over the supply chain.
Instead of paying it all up front, they can pay it metered out to when the customer pays for that product.
Yep.
That's when they'll pay the duty.
So an economic impact study released in May revealed Port SA's economic impact to the state of Texas is more than $9 billion. Now, later today, we are expecting a new announcement of the economic impact of the port, and we're planning to be there for that reveal.
All right, 5:07 on your Friday morning. Let's give you a look at some of your morning headlines across the country. Starting here, federal funding for the government running out at the end of the month, and a shutdown is now on the line. Both parties have their own plans on the table. Republicans want a clean bill with 7 weeks of funding. Democrats want to protect Medicaid and extend Obamacare subsidies. The Senate is expected to vote today, but neither plan appears to have the support to pass. Then this morning, the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee has voted to limit the use of one childhood vaccine. It is recommending that parents wait until after the age of 4 for the combined measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox shots. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is also pushing for broader changes to the U.S. vaccine policy. At the same time, the American Academy of Pediatrics urging parents to ignore the panel's advice. In response, several states are forming their own coalitions to set independent vaccine guidelines. And this morning, a major shakeup at Texas A&M University in College Station. President Mark Welsh III is stepping down. That is according to the Texas Tribune. It follows a week of controversy after a student confronted a professor in class over discussions over gender identity. State lawmakers criticized Welsh for not firing that professor immediately, something that he refused to do. Welsh has led the university, Texas A&M, since 2023. All right, let's get you updated on the roads right now for all of our folks making their way out. A little bit past 5 o'clock on this Friday morning. Quick check here on the west side of town. East side of town, traffic is looking okay, but we do have an incident out here on the east side. Let's check this out. This is going to be 410 southbound traffic right here at Houston Street, and it looks like they have just cleared out that vehicle that was off to the side of the road there, one of the main lanes. Either way, if you did get kind of caught up in traffic right here, W.W. White would have been a potential option for you to kind of navigate around. And a quick check here at our construction activity over here by 1604 Bitters Road. Traffic is moving along after a closure right here at Northwest Military and, of course, Blanco Roads. Let's check in with Alex right now, Drive Cam, and see how things are going on this Friday morning. How's it going, Alex, on the ground?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, right now, not too much happening on the east side. This is 410 southbound near Kirby, and right now we are up to speed. Happy Friday, RJ.
Okay, love to hear it. Happy Friday to you too, sir. Justin?
All right, let's go outside with live cam. It is 5:10, 75 degrees. Another quiet morning here in San Antonio. We got some Friday night football tonight. Burbank takes on Medina Valley, just one of many good games. Temperatures, as they have been, will be warm to start, but once the sun goes down around 7:30, it'll feel pretty comfortable. More on your weekend forecast and those changes next week as well. Coming up.
All right, Justin, I want you to pay attention to this. How Google is bringing artificial intelligence straight to your browser, plus a new update on Microsoft Teams that could help answer some questions while meetings are going on.
And bubble teas are booming in popularity, but have you ever thought about what's exactly in them? Up next, yeah, me neither. Test results that might make you think twice before you take another sip.
Okay, I think this is something we all need to pay attention to.
Okay.
Bubble tea shops, they've been popping up all over.
Yes.
I mean, delicious stuff. Boba has become a favorite, especially with young people.
My daughter included. But as our Devin Karp explains, new safety tests show the popular drink may come with a hidden serious concern.
Once a niche Taiwanese treat, bubble tea is now widely available and growing in popularity. And the star of the show? Those tapioca boba pearls made from cassava.
Cassava is a root vegetable known to absorb lead and other heavy metals from soil. And because of that, we wanted to see how much lead and other heavy metals these drinks and pearls might contain.
Consumer Reports tested pearls from two major chains, Gongcha and Kung Fu Tea, along with packaged boba from Trader Joe's and Wu Fu Yuan. The results were clear. Every single sample contained lead.
While these levels weren't so high we'd tell people to completely avoid bubble tea, the fact that we detected lead in all four products is a good reason to treat it as an occasional treat and not an everyday staple.
Health experts are clear on one point. No amount of lead is safe, and the risks are greatest for children and pregnant people. Trader Joe's told CR that it has discontinued its instant boba kit. Wu Fu Yuan's parent company said, quote, "We take the safety of our products very seriously, and your outreach has prompted us to further improve our existing quality control measures." Kung Fu Tea and Gongcha did not reply to CR's request for comment.
It's impossible to completely avoid lead because it can be found in a variety of foods, including healthy ones, and your daily exposure can add up.
Because of that, Consumer Reports recommends enjoying treats like bubble tea and dark chocolate, which can also be higher in lead, only occasionally. Experts also say eating a wide variety of healthy foods can help reduce your overall exposure to heavy metals. And nutrients such as calcium, iron, and vitamin C may even help counter some of the effects. So while you don't have to give up bubble tea entirely, best not to make it part of your daily routine. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
The lesson here is moderation, right? We keep hearing that over and over again.
I know. Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, now here at KSAT, we're getting ready for the 12th annual Head for the Cure 5K. It's coming up on September 27th. This is something that started in San Antonio as a way to honor our late news director, Jim Boyle.
Right now, the nationwide mission to raise awareness and funding to support brain cancer research got its start more than a decade before the race reached here. Matt Anthony, the founder and president of the Head for the Cure Foundation, tells us his brother, Chris Anthony, was 34 years old when he was diagnosed with glioblastoma, stage 4 brain cancer. He says before his death, Chris, who was a competitive runner, talked about raising money and awareness for brain cancer by starting a race.
A few months before he passed, it was really his idea. He said, this is a disease that is under-researched, seemingly because it's underfunded. How about if we do a 5K? Maybe we bring a little bit of attention to this disease.
And coming up on GMSA at 9, we're going to hear from Matt Anthony about how his brother's idea eventually turned into the Head for the Cure 5K.
Part of that event as well. So if you're waking up with this morning with us on the south side, we do have an important update through the Pleasanton Road Median project. This project, of course, has been a bit of a headache for people that live and work on the south side of town. Now, construction started in December and is close to wrapping up, but people there and business owners have been against it from the start. There is some good news, though. The city and TxDOT agreed to make some changes to the median after some public input and several recent neighborhood association meetings. One of the biggest complaints was more turnarounds for emergency vehicles and access to both sides of the road.
Make it a little bit more accessible. It's okay to block some areas where, there could be more accidents, whatever, but don't block the whole, 2, 3, 4 mile radius and not have no access to either side. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, well, TxDOT and the city agreed to widen some of those turnaround entrances and also shorten the length of the median at some particular street lights, but they are also working on more signage and potentially creating a new opening for people who live closer to Southwest Military Drive. And again, we appreciate those folks out there on the south side letting us talk to them and go to a business there. We're going to check in with them coming up at 6 o'clock. But we do have this incident to let you know about right here. This is going to be 410 and New Braunfels Avenue. This is going to be on the north side of town. So TxDOT just showed up, just actually put this up on their website right now. This is going to be on the westbound lanes at 410 and New Braunfels Avenue. And they were kind of scanning the scene right now. And it looks like maybe some potential signage got hit right here on the westbound lanes of 410 and New Braunfels. So we will keep an eye on this situation and give you more details as we make our way through your 5 o'clock hour. 35 southbound right here, Wiener Road. Traffic slowed due to ongoing construction and now an incident right there on the southbound lanes of 35. So a couple different things across the city. We did clear this incident out here on the far east side of town over by Houston Street and 410. And that just popped up too on the northwest side. So already a very busy morning for us. And again, we'll continue to try and check in with Alex Gomez in just a little bit. But for now, let's check in with my guy, Justin Horn. We got some football, as Stephanie mentioned, off the top here on tap tonight. Justin, so how are things going to be looking for all of our folks making their way out there today?
Good. Great weather. In fact, just a little warm at the beginning of the game. I actually went to a football game last night, and yes, it was hot to start, but once the sun went down, it was okay. And that's going to be kind of the trend for all the football games tonight. I'll tell you this, the consistency that we have seen over the last 9-10 days has been nothing short of incredible for September. September is a month where we start to see some fronts, and we usually see temperatures kind of start to go back and forth. That has not been the case. Starting with Tuesday, the 9th, or really the 10th, we've been at either 92, 93, or 94. In fact, the last 4 days we've been at 92, and there's no reason to think we won't be there again today. So we continue this pattern of just staying steady. The drought monitor came in yesterday, and it is also steady. It does not show much improvement at all. We still have exceptional drought for our friends down there in southern Medina County. And most of Bexar County is in extreme drought, so we just can't seem to shake that either. And there is not a lot of rain in the forecast, I will tell you that. Del Rio also dealing with extreme drought. All right, rainfall accumulation to date, 25.08 for the year. The average is 23.12, so roughly about 2 inches above average, but that number is dwindling. And as long as we continue to see the pattern that we're in, we may drop below average at some point. I was hopeful for some rain next week. It's not looking as good. I'm just going to tell you that straight up. Outside right now, 75 at the airport, 71 in New Braunfels, 71 in Converse. Forecast for today, 10 a.m., 80 degrees, 86 at noontime, and we'll make our way up to 93 this afternoon. Here's why things aren't looking as good. It's this ridge of high pressure. You know, we talked yesterday in the last couple of days about it shifting west, opening the door for this low to come down and bring us some rain. Well, the change is that because of the low out to the west, and there's a lot of moving parts here, this high doesn't shift far enough west. In fact, it shifts back towards us. If that happens, and it's looking more and more like it could, that would really eliminate our rain chances. Now, I still think there's a chance Tuesday with a weak frontal boundary, but as I said, it's not looking as good. 93 Sunday, 94 Monday as we officially get into fall, 95 Tuesday. So temperatures obviously a little bit warmer if we don't see the rain, and the odds are now down to 20% both Tuesday and Wednesday.
Boo.
Agreed.
I'm saying the lawns are looking a little mustardy. That's all
They
I'm
are
saying.
a little crunchy.
Yep.
All right, here's our Just Ask Justin question this morning. So what is the name of the moment when a place on Earth sees exactly 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of nighttime? Is it the equilux, equiday, equinox, or equifax? You can vote, ksat.com/poll, scan the QR code. Right now, equinox leading the way.
Okay. I already looked it up. I cheated.
What?
I'm just saying,
Uh-oh.
sorry.
We got a Googler.
Yeah, I'm just okay, but here's the thing. I guessed what it was, and I was right.
Okay, well, we'll just.
But I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
All right.
It'll be your little secret.
One demerit for Stephania here for Googling. Okay.
I was honest.
That we appreciate. Okay.
For that.
More to come, though. It's 5:22 right now, 75 degrees outside.
So this morning, Meta is opening its smart glasses to outside developers. And we're going to show you how these new apps could change the way that you see the world.
In today's Tech Bites, more intelligence for Chrome. The company is rolling out Gemini integration. allowing users to ask questions and get summaries right inside their tabs. And coming soon, artificial intelligence helpers that can browse the web, schedule appointments, and even order groceries all on your behalf. Artificial intelligence agents are coming to Microsoft Teams. Copilot assistants will be available for every channel and meeting. They'll be able to take notes, answer questions, and create agendas, even letting those in a meeting know if they are running over time. And finally, Meta is opening up its smart glasses. The company will let outside developers build new AI-powered apps for its Ray-Ban and Oakley frames. Early partners include Disney with the Park Guide app and Twitch, bringing live streaming straight from your glasses. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Perry Russum. Have a great day.
We will, Perry. Thank you. 526 right now, 75 degrees outside.
So let's talk about this. Going to the salon is getting pricey, but we found students offering these services for a fraction of the cost. Up next, how you can help them learn while also saving big. Good morning, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday morning. Time now is 5:29, a busy Friday morning as we're watching a situation over on the northeast of town.
Yeah, just to add to all of that, let's bring up the CPS energy outage map because you can see a big old red spot there on the northeast side, if you will. This is south of Converse, not far from Randolph Air Force Base. And according to CPS, this is still under investigation. So no indication as to what led to this. It's two outages. The red one is the much larger one, affecting nearly 4,000 customers. So this just popped up here in the last few minutes. And I know we'll get to Justin in a minute. There's obviously no indication that this has anything to do with the weather. But as soon as we find out what's going on, we'll bring that to you. In the meantime, let's find out what's happening outside traffic-wise. I know RJ and you and Gomez are already pretty busy.
Absolutely, Ernie. Yes, and good morning to all of our folks here as we get into our 5:30 half hour. And we do have a major crash right here at Onslow Street at East Crocus Street. And that's where Alex Gomez is right now. So let's see if we could go check in on Alex's live shots at the moment because he is at the scene of this incident, which we are hearing right now may have potentially involved a train. So this is right here by the Frostbank Center, south of East Houston, off of obviously 35. And right in between Commerce Street as well. So a very busy area for folks that are familiar with this area. We know there are several railroad tracks, particularly along Frostbank Center, Houston, and Commerce Street as well. So once you guys have that picture up, let me know and we'll go to it. But also want to let you know about this right here. This is an incident on 410 westbound and New Braunfels Avenue affecting some of our traffic that's taking place on the westbound lanes of 410. And they've kind of adjusted some of the angle here. And it looks like they may have hit some sort of construction material right here off to the side of the road. So again, 410 at New Braunfels Avenue, very, very busy start to our morning. We're going to show you this incident right here. This is going to be 35 northbound at Benz-Engelman Road. Reports of a crash out here on the east to northeast sides of town. And one other incident, that's going to be this one right here, 410 in New Braunfels. The northeast side also starting to see a lot of activity after a crash southbound right here at 35 at Weidner Road. So again, Alex Gomez is at the scene of that incident on the east side of town over by the Frostbank Center. We're going to check in with him when we get a live look and an opportunity to get more information out there. But reports right now indicating that it may have involved a train. So we'll get more details from him coming up in just a bit. Let's go now to Justin Horn for a check of the forecast today on this Friday morning. Justin.
TGIF, and the sunrise this morning is going to be around 7:21, sunset 7:34. So you can see we're closing in on the exactly 12 hours of daylight and nighttime, which of course goes to our Just Ask Justin question, which we'll talk about here in just a bit. But yes, that sun will be up roughly in about 2 hours or so as we go outside for you. 75 at the airport, 71 New Braunfels, 64 Bernie. I mean, these temperatures have been so steady. This has been the case each and every morning. Feels okay for now if you're going outside, but this afternoon we'll see those temperatures make their way up into the low 90s for highs, maybe some mid 90s out there too. So it'll be plenty warm here across South Texas, not only today, but this weekend as well. And as we've been saying, there's a bit of a shift to the forecast next week, not in a good way either. We'll discuss that and talk about some football games coming up tomorrow too, here in just a couple minutes.
All righty, sir. Thank you. 5:32 right now this morning. Questions remain about the death of a staffer from U.S. Congressman Tony Gonzalez's office. It could be weeks before official confirmation on how 35-year-old Regina Santos Aviles died, but the family members say that she suffered severe injuries after catching fire at her Uvalde home. This was on Saturday night. Now, the family members say Santos Aviles was on fire on her porch when EMS arrived, and they insist that this was an accident. Congressman Gonzalez called her passionate about improving Uvalde and said he is heartbroken. Investigators say they do not suspect foul play.
Now, staying in Uvalde this morning, a Uvalde teen there is in a hospital after a drive-by shooting. Police say that he was riding his scooter down South High Street in Uvalde Wednesday evening when another teen in a car shot him. That boy was rushed to a San Antonio hospital with serious injuries. Authorities say they've already arrested a possible suspect and recovered a gun from his home.
This morning, Alamo Heights ISD is updating its cell phone policy. So under a new Texas law, schools must restrict phones, but districts can decide how to do that. The Alamo Heights School Board says students will no longer be allowed to use phones at all during the school day, from the first bell to the last. Parents who support the update hope that it will improve students' social interactions.
If they think about it, if they look back at the end of the year, they're going to realize, oh, I met new friends, or oh, I fostered more relationships, or I leaned on that friend and told them what I was going through instead of doom scrolling on my phone.
Now, a spokesperson for the district confirmed to KSAT the new cell phone ban policy will be in effect, full effect, on Monday.
Looking ahead, a boutique hotel in the Riverwalk will soon close its doors. We're talking about Hotel Havana. It's going to shut down next month. This is coming after Hyatt ended its management of that property and plans to make renovations. That's according to the San Antonio Business Journal. That hotel has been operating in San Antonio for 15 years. Hotel Havana will officially close October 20th. Okay, so if you've had your picture taken over at Mi Tierra and Market Square over the last 50 years or so, it was probably taken by none other than Antonio Garcia.
Yes, his nickname was Hollywood, and he passed away last week at the age of 81. A longtime friend and employee of Mi Tierra says that Garcia was unofficially the ambassador of Mi Tierra, making everyone feel welcomed and like an old friend when you ate there.
You know, I talked to our management team about doing table visits. You got to do it like Hollywood. Go by, smile, and say hello to the guests, you know. And his smile was so inviting that his mustache really exaggerated his smile.
So his daughter, Maida Larson, one of his 6 children, says that he came from humble roots. You can watch this full story on our website, KSAT.com, or KSAT Plus, our free streaming app.
Okay, 5:35 right now. Let's give you a look at some of your morning headlines. A former Texas State University history professor is suing the school now, claiming that his firing violated his First Amendment rights. His name is Thomas Alter. He was terminated on September 10th after making comments at a conference hosted by a group called Socialist Horizon. He was accused of inciting violence by advocating for the creation of a revolutionary party. In that lawsuit, Alter is seeking to get his job back and compensation from the university and the president, Kelly Damphus, and the university's provost. We've also reached out to Texas State for comments, but have not heard back. In Florida, new details this morning about a deadly roller coaster incident. You see the roller coaster right there at Universal's Epic Universe in Orlando, Florida. The Orange County Medical Examiner says that 32-year-old Kevin Zavala died from blunt force injuries. His death has been ruled an accident. Zavala became unconscious while riding the Stardust Racers. The high-speed coaster remains closed as investigators continue their work. Universal Orlando says that they are devastated by that loss and are cooperating fully with that investigation. And this morning, other late-night hosts are defending their fellow comedian, Jimmy Kimmel. You see him right there. This after ABC and Disney indefinitely suspended his popular late-night show over recent comments that he made about the investigation into the Charlie Kirk shooting. Now, during the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Colbert said that he stands with Jimmy Kimmel and his staff. Meanwhile, Jon Stewart made a special appearance Thursday on The Daily Show to tackle the subject of free speech. Kimmel, though, has not yet commented on that suspension. And we want to remind you this morning that KSAT in no way had any input or involvement in this decision. As a result, instead of re-airing ABC content, KSAT will air an entire hour of the Night Beats in order to bring our viewers, you out there, more news, more stories, and more of what matters to our community. You can watch the Night Beat from 10 to 11 o'clock tonight and Monday as well on KSAT 12, KSAT Plus, and KSAT.com.
Outside with live cam, it's 5:37, 75 degrees. Another very quiet morning here in San Antonio. As you head out the door, Tropical Storm Gabrielle is still churning out in the Atlantic. We have an update on her situation and where she may be headed next, coming up.
My haircuts, color, facials for less. Up next.
Ernie.
Yeah, thank you. What are you saying? Some local students are learning their trade, how you can save big while helping them practice.
Plus, why Hyundai is recalling more than 500,000 of its most popular vehicles. That's after the break.
.541 right now on your Friday morning. We have a major crash on the east side by the Frost Bank Center. We're going to get more details coming up, plus a check-in on other incidents across the area, plus your latest news, traffic, weather coming up in just a bit on Good Morning San Antonio.
544 now. Welcome back to GMSA. So this weekend, or I should say the weekend is just about here, and it's time to look good. We're doing our best up here.
Look good, look sharp.
Right, but the cost of looking good is getting pricier.
Come on, we know that with the eyelashes and the nails and the hair. The average price of a pedicure, after all, is anywhere from what, $25 to $80. Here's a question.
Yes.
Though. How does $14 sound? They get rid of your callos too at the same time. All right, Patty Santos is here this morning to tell us where you can get that deal, Patty.
Self-conscious now.
Okay, so check it out. These are the students at Sam Houston High School. They're part of the cosmetology program, and they've been working for about 3 years to reach the 1,000 hours necessary in training to take their practical exam. Now, if they pass that test, they can go out and get jobs cutting hair, doing nails, even hair colors. So here's where you come in. They need clients. This weekend, you can take a tour of the salon at the high school and hear more about their training.
They get more hands-on versus dealing with the mannequins, because mannequins can't say ouch or tell you that hurts or I like my hair this way. So it gives them the experience, the real life experience. So they won't be so intimidated or scared when they do, if they actually do go into their own businesses.
And the students also learn about sanitation, communication with clients, and safety. Tomorrow, Saturday, you can visit the Hurricane Salon from 10 a.m. to noon, so you can see where they do this and how they do this. You can also head to KSAT.com to find out more about the prices and how to make an appointment. Brackenridge, Burbank, and Lanier High Schools also have similar programs. Stephanie?
And good luck to those. That's awesome that they do that. It's customer service is a skill, and they bring beauty to the world.
Yeah.
So the KSAT community phone bank that we had yesterday, it made a big difference. So just want to take a moment and say thank you to all of you who called, who participated. Project Mend raised a total of $5,800 to help our neighbors in need.
Very good.
Awesome.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so Project Mend would like to thank the Bexar County Commissioners, our KSAT community partners, and everyone who donated. The money buys wheelchairs, scooters, walkers, all the tools that give people back their freedom.
Okay, so here's the other thing, though, because it continues. If you have any gently used medical equipment that you don't use it, take it to the Wonderland of the Americas, the Shriners Auditorium, or the Colonial Funeral Home tomorrow, anytime from 9 to 2. So you have that 5-hour window.
Yeah, okay, very good. On a personal note, last night I was up past my bedtime, but it's for a very good cause. I was honored to MC YMCA's Uniting Generations Casino Night ahead of their 150th anniversary. So this was at Pedrati's Ranch in Helotes. There were great raffle prizes. They were playing craps and everything. But this coming up here, I've never, ever seen this in my life. A human slot machine.
Oh,
that
definitely is.
I could not believe it. Yeah. I could not believe it. So, by the way, founded in 1876, the YMCA of Greater San Antonio is the oldest established service nonprofit in San Antonio. By 1907, they opened their first permanent facility in North Alamo Street and 3rd Street, of course, offering Bible study, education, fitness, and over the years, they've expanded to sports and swim lessons and so much more. But congratulations to the YMCA celebrating 150 years.
Looks like a really fun event.
Yeah. The people who were doing that human slot machine, by the time they were done, their arms
got a
were very...
workout.
Oh, they got a heck of a
They
workout.
had that at the Texas State tailgate.
Okay, I'd never seen that
But you're
before.
right. That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't win, as usual. But.
A lot of work, but very fun and interactive.
Yeah, looks like a good time.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to be having some good times this weekend. Should our football teams
Yes, sir.
Yes.
become victorious. One of the big games, UTSA at Colorado State. Weather for that, man, that sounds nice. 60s, maybe a little bit of rain. That, of course, is in Fort Collins, Colorado. Good luck to the Roadrunners. That should be a good one. Another great game. This one's going to get a lot of eyeballs. Texas Tech taking on Utah. That, of course, is in Salt Lake City at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Better chance of rain there, 40%. Of course, Tech's last game was interrupted by rainfall. This one could be too. 70s for that game. Sam Houston State taking on UT in Austin. 80s mostly clear. That should be a good one. 7 p.m. Obviously, Texas highly favored in that one. And then Arizona State travels to Waco. Temperatures in the 80s for that 6:30 kickoff. Should be another good game. And RJ is already crafting an email asking why I didn't mention Texas State. Well, I didn't get a chance to put that one in, but they're taking on Nicholls State, correct?
We are. The battle for the paddle.
Battle for the paddle in San Marcos. So good game there, too. All right, Tropical Storm Gabrielle out in the Atlantic. Winds are at 50 miles per hour. West-northwesterly movement at about 12 miles per hour. This thing's still really lopsided. Typically, you like to see things a little more evenly distributed, the thunderstorm activity. So you know this isn't super healthy, but we do think there will be some further development here. Hurricane Center continues to think this will become a Category 1, maybe even a Category 2 hurricane at some point, but not before it rounds the bend around our Bermuda High, which would keep it out over the ocean, and it would be not impacting land at all. But winds of 105 miles per hour potentially down the line as we get into next week. Forecast for us, 73 at 7 a.m., 74 at 8 a.m. A good morning. Temperatures making their way into the mid-80s by noontime. In a high, not surprisingly, of 93, partly cloudy. No rain in the forecast today, and unfortunately, we don't have a lot of rain in the forecast. 93 over the weekend. We kind of extracted rain chances there because the pattern just doesn't shift enough.
Boo.
And next week, which was looking promising at one point, is also not looking as great. We've lowered rain chances to 20% Tuesday and Wednesday as we officially go into fall on Monday. Sorry to say. Okay, speaking of officially going into fall, what is the name of the moment when a place on Earth sees exactly 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of nighttime? Your options are equilux, equiday, equinox, or equifax. And we've got some votes for equifax. That's interesting. Go to KSAT.com/polls, scan the QR code. This brought to you by Capital Farm Credit. That answer comes your way in about 1 hour.
I thought one of those was a sleep medication or something too, but I don't know. But all interesting choices.
That's
there,
Dayquil, my friend.
This is thank you, thank you, doctor.
Or NyQuil, whatever.
No, I got you. All right, man, and I mean, RJ could use maybe a little medication here.
A little bit of that, and you know what, Stephanie referenced earlier, getting those grays taken care of. I think this traffic right now, giving a lot of people some gray hair earlier this morning here. So let's give you a latest update. This is going to be on the northwest side of town over by Crossroads, and this is going to be 410 westbound traffic. So I know our camera right there is located at 410 east, but this is going to be our 410 westbound traffic headed into that very important interchange. I'm going to switch over to the maps and give you an idea of what we're looking at over by Cherry Ridge Drive. And you see that traffic is already starting to build out right here for all of our drivers coming in from Jackson Keller, Vance Jackson, this entire stretch of Castle Hills. Now, fortunately, you do have those options at Vance Jackson, Jackson Keller. That'll kind of get you around some of this activity right here at 410 and I-10, but already a very, very busy start. And that's not the only thing we're seeing on 410 right now. We've been following this incident right now. This is also going to be 410 headed towards the airport right here, New Braunfels Avenue. Fortunately, it looks like traffic is, for the most part, making its way through that one stretch. And quick check here at our traffic situation, northeast side of town, traffic slow going there. But the biggest incident we're following also at the moment, major crash right here by the Frostbank Center, Onslow Street at East Crockett in between Houston and Commerce. Let's check in with Alex right now and see what is the very latest on the ground there with Drive Cam and see if we could get some more details from Alex Gomez. Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ, and that's exactly where I'm at. I'm on Onslow and Houston Street, not too far away from the Frost Bank Center, and you can see this is what's left of the scene. We have SAPD and San Antonio Fire Department here, and they're actually telling me that there was a car left on the tracks, nobody inside, and that's what caused the fire over here. So San Antonio Fire Department, they were able to put out that fire to the car that was hit by the train, and SAPD has a record coming to tow away that car. So in the meantime, you can see right there, the train has stopped, so you can't pass through the east side using Houston Street. The underpass is on Commerce, so maybe use Walters, just get to Commerce, and then you'll be able to use that road, that underpass, to get through the east side this morning. RJ.
Okay, good advice as usual from Alex Gomez for our drivers over by the Frostbank Center. Thank you very much, Alex. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you. Time now is 5:53, 75 degrees out there right now as we get ready for a very busy Friday filled with Friday night football and all that good stuff.
It's so much stuff. And recalls, too. This morning, Hyundai is recalling more than 500,000 SUVs. I'm going to tell you why and which models are affected. Coming up. All right, 5:56 now this morning. Hyundai is recalling. It's in my head now how to pronounce it. Hyundai like Sunday. All right, they're recalling more than 500,000 SUVs over a serious seat belt issue. The recall affects Hyundai Palisade vehicles from model years 2020 through 2025. Hyundai says seat belt buckles in the driver, passenger, and second row window seats may fail to latch. No crashes or injuries have been linked to this defect. Until repairs are made, Hyundai advises you to firmly insert seat belts and make sure they are secure. Dealers will inspect and replace the buckles for free.
All right, let's send things on over to RJ. Is he going to check up on traffic?
Well, we'll get to him in just a little bit, but first here, we want to tell you about what's coming up in the next hour. A pretty dramatic scene right here on a security camera. A family held at gunpoint while suspects tried to steal their car. What police say happened here to the suspects and why they ultimately ran away at the last minute. That's coming up.
Also here, millions of dollars raised during the big give. Wow. I mean, big props to all of you out there, including $5,000, more than $5,000 for Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Texas. How they're hoping to use those funds for an even bigger impact on the community. That's up after the break.